Hey, everybody. Today is Thursday, January 17th, 2019. Stock market report today. Markets were fairly quiet. The only big mover today was we talked about in the last couple of days was United Natural Foods, UNFI, down 18% today. Not a whole lot to say about that. I guess I'm kind of tired of talking about them anyway. I had something else I wanted to talk to you about today. There's a biotech company called Clovis Oncology, CLVS. Um, I actually owned some of this stock a couple of times previously, kind of bought and sold. Um, and sometimes you don't learn stuff about companies unless you actually own the company, because once you own shares in a company, then it really forces you to do the research. Um, So once I bought some shares of Clovis, I started really looking into them, and I came across some very disturbing information. Um, I want to bring up a file here. I'm going to click on my web browser in a different window. I'm not sure if you will be able to see this or not. If not, I'll just read from it. Um, this is an article from the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. The headline is Biopharmaceutical Company Executives Charged with Misleading Investors About Cancer Drug. And this was, you can look this up. This was September 18th, 2018. So not too long ago. Um, when I heard this news, I got out of there, sold my shares immediately. Was kind of embarrassed that I didn't know about this before that I actually bought any shares, but glad I found it. Um, Here, I'll read the article here. This will take a couple minutes. Securities and Exchange Commission today announced that a Boulder, Colorado-based biopharmaceutical company, its CEO and its former CFO will pay more than $20 million in penalties to settle charges of misleading investors about the company's developmental lung cancer drug. The SEC's complaint filed in federal court in Denver alleges that over a 4-month period starting in July 2015, Clovis Oncology and CEO Patrick Mahaffy, who is still the CEO, amazingly, misled investors about how well Clovis' flagship lung cancer drug worked compared to another drug. According to the complaint, the company's investor presentations, press releases, and SEC filings stated that the drug was effective 60% of the time, far higher than suggested by actual results available internally. Clovis raised approximately $298 million in a public stock offering in July 2015 and saw its stock price collapse in November 2015 after disclosing that the effectiveness rate was actually 28%. The company stopped development of the drug in May 2016. According to the SEC's complaint, in evaluating Clovis stock, investors closely followed prospects for its lung cancer drug, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, or ROCI, ROCI, I don't know. And an important driver was its efficacy on how well the drug worked. In May 2015, Clovis disclosed in an investor presentation that ROCI's effect was 60%, meaning that in 60% of patients, ROCI caused targeted tumors to shrink. The complaint alleges that soon after, certain data provided by Mahaffy, I'm just going to call him moron, and Erle Mast, the company's CEO at the time, showed that ROCI's efficacy rate was substantially lower, and by early July 2015, Moron and Mast learned that the efficacy for ROCI at the time was 42%. Clovis continued referring to the 60% efficacy figure, including in the solicitation materials for the July 2015 offering and afterward. In November 2015, after Clovis disclosed the true efficacy using the methodology required by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, its stock price dropped approximately 70%. The SEC's complaint charges Clovis with violating Section 17A2 of the Securities Act of 1933 and Section 13A of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. Blah, blah, blah. This is just a bunch of Um, let's see, Clovis agreed to a $20 million penalty. Moron agreed to a $250,000 penalty. Mast agreed to pay $100,000 and provide pre-judgment interest of $454,000 attributable to selling Clovis stock during the relevant period at inflated prices. Unbelievable. The SEC plans to seek the creation of fair fund for the distribution of penalties to harm investors. Yeah, like that's going to do much good. This is unbelievable. This is just sad, really. It's amazing to me how these people are not in prison. I mean, honestly, how aren't they? This is supposed to be about curing disease, treating disease, helping people who are sick, and instead, you overstate the efficacy of your drug, basically in order to make money. At the same time that they're using these um, numbers that were overinflated, they are selling stock at the same time they're profiting off this, and they're lying to people. And not only are they not in prison, the guy is still the CEO of Clovis Oncology. He's still there. It just, it absolutely blows my mind. I wish somebody could let me in on this and tell me why this person is not in jail. It's unbelievable to me, and sadly, this goes on more than people probably realize. We all saw the story of what's that other idiot's name with that hike the price of this drug. Um, he would buy these smaller biotech companies up and then jack the price up. Chicorelli or whatever the hell his name is. This guy is no different. I am I don't understand what's going on there. If you have stock in Clovis, I would get the hell out of there right now. This company should be bankrupt. The CEO should be in prison. I this this kind of stuff makes me mad. It really does. Um, this it gives all the other companies who are trying to find cures and help people. It really gives them a bad name when you have companies like this pop up there. I was just sick to my stomach when I read this article. So please beware of this company, Clovis Oncology. Do whatever you can to spread the word. I'm sure this type of behavior typically doesn't get rewarded. I would I would think that this company is, unless they get bought out by some other company who has no morals, um, this thing is going to zero eventually, and it has tanked a lot. I think it was up near $100 just a year or two ago, and it's down to what 20 something right now. So I'm glad to see that, I guess. But um, yeah, it's just too bad that stuff like this goes on in the marketplace. But um, if you ever do come across something like this, like I've mentioned in other videos, if you ever do come across something in a company that you're looking at investing in or owning shares in, and you're like, this just doesn't seem right, just get out of there. Just get out of there immediately. Don't have any FOMO is what it's called, fear of missing out. Though if I sell a stock, it's going to go up right away. When something like this comes up, who cares? The stock might move up. Just there's still people out there that'll buy it, but you just don't want to be. The worst thing that could happen is you could know about something like this, and then the stock tanks at the same time. I mean, that's a double whammy right there. So just I would completely ignore this company. Um, people like that, you like to think that they change, but I've never come across any apology or anything. I would pretty surprised if these shareholders who lost money are going to get any of their money back. I was in and out in a pretty short period of time, so I didn't see much of a gain or a loss, but there could be some people in there who had no idea what was going on. Just someone who maybe was depending on this company as part of their retirement, and now they lost 70-80% of their money. And it's just too bad. These biotech companies, you have to really be careful for. This isn't the only one out there like that. I'm sure there's more. If I come across anything this serious, I'm always going to post a video and let you guys know what's going on, so you can stay away from these companies. Hopefully you could see that article. I don't know if you could, but anyway, I'll see everybody tomorrow. Hopefully we see a little more action in the market tomorrow. Not a lot going on today. Little news about that the U.S. is thinking about easing up on tariffs on China, so that was good. Got a little bump in the markets, but no really individual stocks were up too much today. So just thought I'd bring this Clovis Oncology issue into light while we've got a kind of a slow day in the market. So thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you tomorrow.